Hey y'all, I'm back with the Project Life and Scrapbook process video for the Hip Kit Club using the May 2017 kit. These are my first two projects with this particular kit, and here's the mood board where I'm going to be taking inspiration. I'm pulling colors and then some of the feathers and the butterflies, and I'll kind of point that out as I go. I actually printed off a picture of the mood board so that I could have it for reference, and I just set it aside. And I'm starting by taking my cards and my photos, and I'm just kind of putting them in an order that I may think that I will like, and then I have to set aside a few photos because I'm not going to be able to fit all of them on this one side. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick what I want for this first side, and I don't really worry too much. I try a little bit to go in chronological order, and then I realized pretty quickly that I kind of wanted to keep some of the same events with each other, and so that would kind of separate some of the other things that went on that week. And so I think what I end up doing is I try to keep it as in order as possible, but I really don't care too much about that. Yeah, so I have a few photos from a birthday party, and I remember wanting those photos to stay together, which meant that it split up the week a little bit. And so that ended up being fine with me. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the photos from the birthday party on the other side, and then the beginning and the end of the week on this side, which I'm not too worried about that. But I'm simply going through my embellishments. I'm using a lot of the Hip Kit Club exclusive embellishments, and then along those same lines, I'm using these alphas that are exclusive as well to the Hip Kit Club this month. And I love this font. I wish I had every color in this particular font. I think I mentioned that before, but I'm using some of those exclusive ephemera pieces, and I've already set those down, and I think I'm going to go back to adhere those in a little bit. But first, I'm looking through the Schmel Lane Little by Little sticker book, and I found a sticker that I liked, and now I'm going to go ahead and adhere down my ephemera pieces. And I kind of struggle with that bottom card, so I'm not really sure how. I want to incorporate the cloud, which there's clouds in the mood board, and I also want to incorporate a butterfly, and I'm having a hard time figuring out exactly how I'm going to do that. And so for now, I'm just kind of going with what I know and what I like so far. And so you'll see there that I tried to match. I wanted to make sure, I guess it's not too big of a deal to match like the colors perfectly, but I didn't want to steer too far off from the mood board and the colors that were given in the mood board, which are a lot of bright and fun summer colors. And so but I really wanted to use this piece that said seriously. It was a 3x4 card that came in our May 2017 Project Life kit, but I wanted to just use the seriously part, and I used my ticket punch to just simply punch that piece out because I like laugh when I think about it. But I was like thinking, did my family really allow me to go out in public dressed the way that I was dressed? I mean, it was still kind of cool. Like, mind you, this was week 5, so it was end of January, beginning of February. I had on these like knockoff Birkenstock sandals that I like seriously love. Like, I wear them around the house, and then occasionally, like if my toenails are painted, I'll wear them, with jeans or something rolled up, or I don't know. Anyway, so all that to say that I wore this dress with these like tights, and this dress is like a flowy, comfy, casual dress, and then I had these like black tights underneath with these sandals, and my toenails were like awful, and I started thinking to myself, did I really go in public like this? And then I mean, I did just go run into a store to pick something up that I needed, and it was like nighttime, so I just wore whatever that I could just like quickly put on. But anyway, so I just laughed, and I had to snap a picture of that because I was half embarrassed, but I thought it was funny at the same time. So anyway, I ended up snapping a photo and sending it to some of my friends and saying, did my family really allow me to go out like this? So anyway, I guess they don't care too much, but I found what I wanted to do for that bottom card, which I ended up putting a bear from the Schmel Little by Little collection, and it went perfectly because I think the banner says something sweet, but I can't remember what it says. But I added a little label, which is an exclusive piece from the Hip Kit Club, and I added that, and it says the date on it. And those cupcakes are actually when my sister told my mom that she was pregnant or expecting, and that they were wait, at this point we didn't know they were twins. Okay, so she just knew that she was pregnant at this time. She had gotten her blood test done and all that. So I thought that was really cool. And so I ended up snapping a picture of that. And if you look really closely in the photo, she totally like stole some of my scrapbooking supplies to make the little things that the cupcake toppers, which I thought was funny. So anyway, on this particular card, I ended up journaling kind of like a bullet point list, and then I added those enamel dots, kind of almost acting like the paint samples on the mood board, and I thought that was kind of fun. And then I struggled quite a bit with trying to figure out exactly what I want to do next, and I found those stack of books, and I liked that ephemera piece from the Little by Little collection for the photo there at the bottom of my husband and my daughter reading. And so I thought that would be really fun. And then I was like, but I need a card to put that on because it didn't go on the card that I had there. So I ended up like thinking about swapping the cards, but I realized pretty quickly that that wasn't going to work for me, and I go back. So I kind of fiddle with that for a little bit, and there I go again trying to add that butterfly that I'm still having a hard time using. But I did end up using a feather, and then I took a lot from the colors. Oh, and I do want to mention that the Hello Sunshine piece is exclusive. That's one piece of ephemera, and in the mood board it says sunshine. So I was like, I knew I saw a piece of ephemera that had sunshine in it, so I thought that'd be fun to incorporate. And then there I go with the books, thinking I'm going to use that instead of the other card. And then I thought, well, I kind of felt like the colors were the bright, fun colors were being thrown off by using that book, because it does have some like more muted tones in it. And even like, I don't really think I have like reds in this spread, and I have like variations of like pink, but I don't really have like a full-on like red and a full-on, I don't know if it had, what other colors it had in there. It may have had like a navy, but anyway, so I felt like I was kind of being thrown off with the colors, and so I decided to go back to what I was doing before, and I found two circular elements that I really liked. I used a circle piece that said today, which was from the Chamel Little by Little collection, and then the little wood veneer that says noted. That is an exclusive piece from the Hip Kit Club. Lastly, I just add this little tab up at the top and then remove adhesive because I put too much. And I'm telling you, adding those little tiny attacher staples makes such a big difference. I've heard other people say that before, and I started using them more, and I really just love that like final complete look when you use the tiny attacher. So moving on to my layout for the week, so on the mood board, there's a door that has like a diagonal like paint. You can see the mood board right there on my desk, but it's a door, and it has this diagonal like paint strip block thing where like half of it is painted blue and the other half is painted green. And so I decided to go along with that on my layout, except I didn't use blue and green. I just used a pink piece of paper on white cardstock. And I'm using a couple sheets from the Chamel Little by Little collection, but also I think one of the sheets is from the Dear Lizzie Lovely Day collection, and that's the hot air balloon sheet. And then I am trying to figure out my layering at this point. And, you know, oftentimes I get into this like feeling or this mode where I'm like, I think I'm doing the same thing over and over again, and I really need to like switch it up. But then I just go back to like what I know, and I think that's like when I'm stuck or when I'm not really like in the creative mood. And to be honest, like I don't know that I was in the creative mood at this point, especially to do scrapbook layout. And I go through phases where I like Project Life better than I like scrapbooking, and I like scrapbooking better than I like Project Life, and so on. And so I think this particular day I wasn't really in the mood to do scrapbooking layout, and so I just kind of felt like I was layering like just very simply, and ended up honestly really liking the way that this layout turned out, but I wasn't quite sure about it as I was like going. So I'll kind of tell you what my thought process is. So at this point, I really like the idea of maybe putting the embellishments along the diagonal and kind of keeping that flow going. But I realized pretty quickly after I had put all those embellishments there that I had lots of white space, which is fine. But I kind of felt like it was just really bulky along that center line. So I ended up putting a title below. So I'll get to that here in a second. But first, I'm adding quite a few embellishments. Added a couple of chipboard pieces from the Maggie Holmes collection. I think it's called, oh, it's like Charm Day, or I don't remember. Why can I not remember that? Charming something, maybe? Anyway, so I added a few pieces from that, and then I also added some of the Schmel Lane Little by Little ephemera pieces, which have embossed, like they're raised. Some of them are raised, like the dry embossing, which is like super cool. And so I added a couple pieces there, and now I'm trying to figure out my title, and I had a time with this trying to figure out what am I gonna write. The picture is of Ava, my daughter, last year at like her very first sporting event slash like softball game that we went to, and she's like not look thrilled at all, which I was gonna put like something sarcastic like super thrilled, or I don't really know. And I was trying to figure out what exactly I wanted to say, and so I ended up, since she looked super cute in the picture, well, Ashley always does, but I'm super biased. But since I thought that was a super cute photo, I thought, well, I'll just write out. I found this hello, which is from the Schmel Lane Little by Little collection, and I ended up using that with the white alphas that we got, and I just spelled out cutie. And I'm going to go ahead and stitch a lot of things, because I really feel like this page was lacking texture. Even though I have like dimensional pieces, I still felt like it needed something extra. Like it just looked, I love simplicity. There was just something missing for me. And so I'll show you how I fixed that. I added a couple of pieces of wood veneer just to kind of change up the texture. And then I also am popping some things up on pop dots. And then I'm going to go in with my sewing machine. I'm going to sew down the hello piece, and then I'm also going to sew down a couple of like the other little pieces from the mood board. I used some of the colors, and then the butterflies and feathers. And then I'm also going to take some of this, and this is kind of where I spruced it up a little bit. I took some of the watercolors from our color kit, which are super vibrant. I ended up going back in actually with a baby wipe and kind of toning it down a little bit, but they're so pretty. I used one of the pink and yellow colors, and then I ended up going back with kind of a mint color, and you'll see in the final photos, and adding that, and you'll see that it's a little bit more toned down in those final photos. So there's my Project Life spread that I'm walking you through, or that I'm showing you now, and then here is my final spread of my layout. And I really love those vibrant colors. I love how it turned out. I hope you guys did too, and I will talk to you guys later.